Good morning, everyone. Good afternoon, good evening. How are you doing? My name is Amanda Ellis, and a very warm welcome to my channel. What we're going to be doing today is a twin flame update. Twin flame is an energy and a subject that I track basically on this channel. There is a playlist of all my previous work, but if you have watched it before, you will know that really what we're doing here is following a timeline, following a track of where we're at, what is happening with the higher consciousness, the collective consciousness with regards to twin flame. Because actually, even though not everybody is on the twin flame path and not everybody resonates with this work, twin flames are 100% affected by what is happening in the collective. So we know, for example, that there have been many things over the last few years that have tried to thwart greater connection between the twin flame energies, maybe also bringing potential union together, although union is not the be-all and end-all with regards to twin flame, because absolutely you can have a twin flame that has passed over. You can have a twin flame that you are never going to come into union with in this lifetime. And I know that's triggering, but not everybody is meant to, because it's a template of unconditional love. Can you love and continue to love no matter what the circumstances? So what we're going to do in this video is have a look at where we are now. And usually when I come on to do these videos, twin flame updates, I've usually received a particular download to tell you about. And although I do have things to say in this video, and I know and I trust that it will develop, because I'm going to be bringing in many guides to help us, particularly the energy of Sanat Kumara. Sorry, I'm about to sneeze. Sanat Kumara, that's gone. Kali Ma. And also I feel as though the energy of hope is very important right now. So even though we've got the guides here and it will develop this video, I also want to say that where we are at now with regards to twin flame is I'm hearing the word flatlining. It's as though the energy has flatlined for whatever reason. Now we have an 8/8 Lionsgate portal coming up over the next week or so, which hopefully will kickstart the energy again. And I'm literally being shown by Metatron here an image of a heart that is brought back to life. You know, so we've seen maybe you've actually seen it in reality, but you've certainly seen it on films where somebody is flatlining and they put the paddle, whatever they're called, the paddle things on, and they shock the heart back into life. And it feels as though that's where we are at right now. There has been, for whatever reason, a bit of a lull, and an energy of dead end, which I'm going to talk about in a moment with regards to twin flame energy. But I feel as though something's coming that kickstarts the energy again. Now, I'm going to give you a couple of analogies here and also a couple of songs, me and my songs. But one of the things I've been feeling for a while with regards to twin flame is I've been shown the symbolism of the maze. Now, I grew up actually near Hampton Court Palace, the home of Henry VIII. And one of the things I used to do many weekends of my childhood was we would go to the maze. It was an old-fashioned maze with, the very high hedges. And we would try and work our way into the centre of the maze. And I always found it quite difficult. But the other thing about the maze is that even if you find your way into the centre of it, it's then quite hard to find your way out again. Now, there is a song that shows the maze and also has very pertinent words with regards to twin flame. It's Cliff Richard's "The Only Way Out is the Only Way In." And Cliff has a phrase in that song which says, "The only way out is the only way in, and it's you." Now, he, I think, is referencing the energy of Jesus in that song. But the point is that I actually feel as though I'm bringing it into the twin flame arena as well, because it's as though we only get ourselves into maybe the muddle of separation, although of course it's all divinely perfect. Everything is on track. Everything is as it's meant to be. Everything that you are experiencing on a twin flame journey, including the difficult parts, including the dead ends, including not knowing where to turn, including feeling as though you're completely lost from the other, is all part of the path. But the only way out is the only way in, and it's you. It's as though, and actually, if you watch the video of it, it's Cliff basically, running around this maze, finding the centre, and then trying to find his way back out again. What gets us out of the tough spots in life? What gets us out of the difficult parts of life, the painful parts of life? If you are a twin flame, it is that deep resilience and rock that you basically have, which is a love which, whether it is physically present in your life or not, is there for you. It's there for you in your most difficult times. It's there for you also in your happiest times. It's the bedrock, basically, upon which everything else is built. I've spoken many times in previous twin flame videos that this love can absolutely sometimes only be felt in the astral realm. If you're not together, if you haven't been together for many years, there is still that red string of destiny, that pink rope of love, that basically it's like an umbilical cord between the two hearts that keep them beating. There's something here that I'm picking up as well. This pink umbilical cord of love between the hearts. I feel as though one half of the twin flame at present time is very, very depleted. Feels as though they are lost in the maze, can't find their way back out, can't maybe find their way back to you, even though they might wish to. Or it may very well be that there are very real obstacles in the way in terms of them finding their way back to you. But it's as though the heart chakra is depleted, certainly in one half of the twin flame energy. It probably is the masculine, but that is an assumption, and we'll have a look at it. We'll pull some cards. But this thing about the heart being shocked back into life, it's as though you have the power and you have the ability, whether in real time or in astral time, to help your counterpart at this time to feel more alive, to come back to themselves, to believe in love again, to want to find their way out of this maze that they are in right now. Now, there's another song that I was given by Metatron this morning coming on to do this video today. And it was, I don't know whether I've referenced this song before. Maybe I have. I can't remember what I channel when I channel. So if I have, it's like a double whammy that we're being given it again. But again, I heard the song Working My Way Back to You by the Spinners. Now, when I actually looked at the lyrics to this song, they are pretty beautiful. And I'm just going to read a couple of the verses, and they go like this. I'll keep working my way back to you, babe, with a burning love inside. Yeah, I'm working my way back to you, babe, and the happiness that died. When you were so in love with me, I played around like I was free. Thought I could have my cake and eat it too, but how I cried over losing you. See, I'm down and out, but I ain't about to go living my life without you. I'll keep working my way back to you, babe, with a burning love inside. There's this energy right now of one or maybe both counterparts, but I think it's just one counterpart in particular being very stuck and having reached a dead end, actually. I mean, to be honest, this thing about the maze, what you have to understand is, if we go back to Hampton Court maze as an example, and I think I'm being shown Hampton Court Palace for a reason. I'm talking about it because think about a palace. Hampton Court Palace, if you ever come to the UK, go and visit it. It is beautiful. It's set against the River Thames. It is just this most extraordinary palace. You can walk around all the rooms. The grounds are beautiful. It backs onto what's called Bushy Park. Bushy Park, there are loads of stags. And as a child, I remember going there and, in rutting season, the antlers would have fallen onto the floor. There is a great big statue of the goddess Diana in the middle of Bushy Park, surrounded by this water. It's just making me go all chilled as I would just remember the majesty of this place. And who lives in a palace? Kings and queens live in palaces. What is the twin flame journey about? It's about sovereignty. It's about you being the queen of somebody's world and you also having a king in your world. So it's the king and queen. And of course, these are interchangeable in terms of, whether you're straight, whether you're gay, whether you're bi, whatever you are, okay? Love goes across all, love doesn't have any barriers, basically. Certainly the twin flame path embraces all. But anyway, going back to this maze at Hampton Court, set against the River Thames, the energy of flow and water, kings and queens, sovereignty. In the centre of the maze is a wooden bench. In the video of Cliff, you see him sitting on the wooden bench. I've sat on that bench. Some counterparts have been sitting on that bench for so long, they've almost forgotten that actually part of the journey is working my way back to you. It's not just about walking away, because part of the twin flame journey is about walking away. There will always be periods of separation. It's also about returning, okay? It's returning, but it's returning with greater strength, greater insight, having healed, coming back whole, basically. So I'm now being shown, for whatever reason, a walking frame beside the bench. And I think this is symbolic again. It's to do with the wound. It's to do with a wound, basically. It's wounds that have been acquired along the journey, particularly in relation to sovereignty and coming back into wholeness with regards to divine masculine and divine feminine. And the walking frame or a walking stick seems to represent help. It's as though you don't have to do it alone. There are guides that are coming in to help you find your way back to each other. As I say, whether this is in real time on the physical plane, which absolutely is a real thing for some, or whether it is just greater, closer connection in astral, that is just as real as well. Because remember, after death, twin flames will always find each other anyway. So any separation is only temporary. We're only here for a set number of years anyway. But ultimately, I understand that most twin flames want to actually experience the feeling of flesh on flesh again, human contact, touch, all of that, sacred sexuality, intimacy, etc. So let's pull some cards, I think, at this point, and also bring some guides in. And I think actually what I'd like to start with is a really interesting deck that's been gifted to me by Ashley. I've forgotten your second name, Ashley. I think it's Kester, of the Reckoning Co. Okay. She's a lovely girl. Really, really like her, or lady. She's not a girl, lady. And I like her work. And yeah, it's not necessarily a twin flame deck. I don't think she does twin flame work. But the point is, The deck is called Sacred Woundings, and it arrived in my home yesterday, and I thought that's going to be a great deck to use for Twin Flame. So I think what we're going to do is pull a card with regards to what are the wounds that the masculine has, what are the wounds that the feminine might have, and what is the wound right in the center of the union right now, okay? I will just say that this deck, she's made it herself, and it comes with this beautiful little bag. She's even done the gold seal that goes on it. I love people that are creative and do things, you know, off their own backs. So, wounding. Let's start off with the overall wound of the divine masculine. What is the energy of the wound of the divine masculine? What wound is the divine masculine carrying at this time? Interesting. I'm just going to read you what it says on the card because it's quite wordy. Needing to address a divine guidance deficit. Absence or perceived absence of spiritual direction or support from higher sources, resulting in feelings of uncertainty, aimlessness, or disconnection from one's spiritual path or life purpose. It shows, interestingly, two pieces of the jigsaw wanting to be put together. The divine masculine and his spiritual team, effectively. It's as though there's been a dereliction of duty, but that's not that the guides haven't wanted to help the divine masculine. It's the fact that some divine masculines have forgotten the spiritual component of life, have forgotten the importance of turning to spiritual guides. And that word aimlessness says it all. That's the divine masculine that sat on that wooden bench, twiddling their thumbs, getting older and grayer. Yeah? And it's like, what are you doing? Wake up. Think about the heart that's about to be restarted. So, yeah. Needing to address divine guidance deficit. They're not turning to their guides. Oh, sorry, I am really hot, so I'm going to have to fan myself a bit. It's not the menopause, it is actually just the weather. I've gone through the menopause. Right, I'm going to pull another card now for the divine masculine. I also think it's interesting that I'm having to fan myself at this point in time. It's as though the heat is on the divine masculine, because how much longer can you stay sitting on that bench with love without turning into stone? You know, Hampton Court Palace is full of the most beautiful stone statues. Do you want to become part of the furniture? No, it's meant to be a temporary movement and flow in terms of moving away to find yourself, to heal, but not getting stagnant. Okay, let's pull one more card for the divine masculine. I'm actually going to take that one because it's on the bottom of the deck, and I'm not surprised to see that. It says needing to address psychic attachments. Belief in energetic attachments or influences from external sources affecting one's well-being. I tell you what that is. That is so clear to me. We've just had a card that's saying the divine masculine is not turning to his spiritual guidance enough, not turning to God enough, maybe mocking God, maybe thinking, oh, it's all a load of nonsense. What are you going on about? Not wanting to be humbled before God, not wanting to believe that there are things that cannot be understood by the rational mind, you know, going into the heart. So why are they not doing that? Because there's a psychic attachment here. I mean, I actually want to say just attachment. This is lower energy. This is lower energy. It's like in the tarot, it would be the devil card, okay, the devil card energy. And What can we do about that? I mean, as a counterpart, you can send the violet flame to your counterpart to try to remove this, what feels like, I tell you what it's feeling like to me. It's as though they're stuck in the middle of a sticky spider web. That's what I'm being shown. And I tell you why. I'm also now realizing how perfect it is that I've got this sitting here. Kali Ma. I knew that I needed to bring the energy of Kali Ma into this reading, and I didn't quite understand why. I mean, I know what she's about, but it makes perfect sense now. Kali Ma is the one that clears the battlefield of attachments, toxicity. She's a demon slayer, basically. So I'm not saying that your divine masculine has a demon on his chest, although interesting that I say that. I keep being shown the energy of the heart being restarted by those paddle boards. So is it actually that there has been an energetic, dark energy entity type thing across the heart, blocking the heart? And what that does basically is it stops feeling. If I have that, I can't actually feel you. And I feel as though the divine feminine has very much felt recently as though they can't feel their counterpart. It's like, where have you gone? I know you haven't gone anywhere. I know you still love me, but I can't feel you. I'm not dreaming of you. I'm not sensing you. I'm not getting messages from you. Where have you gone? I'll tell you what's happened. It's as though there is a block, there is a sabotage in front of that masculine heart. So what we're going to do at this point is we're going to bring in Kali Ma to remove it, okay? So this is from the collective divine masculine heart. And it's like anything. Go back to the analogy of sitting on the bench. You sit on the bench and it's like everything's fine. This is fine. I'm quite happy here. I have my drinks, I have my food, I have shelter, I have somewhere to sleep on this bench if I need to. What's the big deal? You've forgotten what it's like beyond the bench. You've forgotten what it's like beyond the maze. You've forgotten what it's like to not have this heavy energy on your chest. Now, I've experienced this myself before, actually, and it is a darkness. I experienced it actually when I was reading on the Idaho 4 case and tuning into the whole energy of, the darkness there. And I woke up in the middle of the night before I read on that, with something on my chest, literally wanting to thwart me, stop me from, revealing truth, shedding light onto it. It's an evil energy. Now, what I did was I brought in the energy of Jesus. You can see here I've actually bought myself a new cross from my holiday in Crete. That is now firmly in place upon my chest. So you can call on the energy of Jesus, absolutely. But don't forget the energy of Kali Ma, because she is ruthless and she will go in with gusto to take off whatever is blocking your divine masculine from being able to reach out, feel you, communicate, etc. So let's do that now. Let's bring in the energy of Kali. Okay. It feels very calm is the first thing I want to say. But she's doing the job, and it's what I'm being shown is like a big plunger. Now, I don't know whether that translates very well across the world. A plunger, a rubber plunger that you stick down your toilet to remove a blockage, basically. And that's what I'm feeling is like she's using that over the heart, but it's very gentle, and she's just it's like hoovering, it's like vacuuming away this energy that was there. Okay, so trust that process and trust that she is doing that. And I feel as though that's going to be happening in the run up to 8/8. And I'm actually starting to feel a little bit lightheaded now as I am sitting with her energy. And this is the divine masculine energy that I'm tuning into. It's like an energy of like, oh, coming out of a dream, coming out of a stupor, coming back to your senses. It's literally like that. Like wanting to do that, but not in a violent way. It's literally just like, not realising had been asleep. Fallen asleep on the job is what I'm hearing. Fallen asleep on the job. What is the job? The job for twin flames is to try to hold a template of higher love no matter what. No matter what the circumstances are, you hold a higher template of love. And boy, have we been tested over the last few years in particular, with regards to pandemic, with regards to the drums of war beating, with regards to lockdown and not being able to travel maybe to each other, etc., as well as the spiritual war on this planet, which is absolutely taking place right now, which is the battle between light and dark. So is it any wonder that the divine masculine has been attacked? No, think about it. We've lived on a planet of patriarchal masculine energy for eons. It's about many things, but that old patriarchal energy is about control. It's about war. Just for one thing, the new divine masculine energy is not about that. And it's the opposite of that. And so if you believe, as I do, that the twin flames are here to try to birth this new consciousness across our world, they're not the only ones, but they're an important component of bringing this new earth energy in, then of course the divine masculine is going to be attacked. So divine feminines look what's on the bottom of the pack, I'll take that in a minute. Don't be so personally triggered that maybe it's something that you've done in terms of why you can't feel him anymore, for example, or, that he's gone AWOL, that he's absent, that, it's not. This is another energy that's come in to thwart the divine masculine, continuing his healing journey. And on the bottom of the deck, again, I just shuffled again, but this card says addressing spiritual awakening challenges. The difficulties and the upheavals that can accompany a transformative spiritual awakening. And, I don't know whether you can see the image on the card very well, but there's just this great big white expanse there where the heart chakra would be, as though the heart chakra is just completely being, I'm hearing it's like ground zero type energy. It is a reboot. It's a reboot for the masculine heart. And it feels as though it's very much linked into Lion's Gate, the lion heart energy. Fascinating. Okay, so I'm going to read on the divine feminine now. Before I do, I'd just like to bring in another energy, if I may, to help us, and that's Sanat Kumara. So Sanat Kumara, love and light activation spray. Pretty much a twin flame spray. It's not just a twin flame spray, but Sanat Kumara is known to help guide twin flames. So just feel as though I need his energy here before we read on the divine feminine for whatever reason. So let's bring in Sanat Kumara. And also it helps us just to change gear, flow into a different half of the energy, bring softness in, compassion in, love in, tolerance in, understanding in, patience in, kindness in. And all of that feels as though they are qualities that the divine feminine needs at this time. Okay, right, divine feminine wounding. Let's have a look at where the wound is on the divine feminine right now, which one is showing for whatever reason. Just one card, please, to start with. One card, please. Divine feminine wounding in relation to twin flame. Divine feminine wounding in relation to twin flame. Okay, that one. Past life wounds. Okay. belief in the carryover of unresolved issues or traumas from previous lifetimes. So the Divine Feminine is carrying a past life wound at this point in time, which is flaring up for some reason. Okay, let's see what it's in relation to. Let's have one more card from this deck, please. Okay, that one's just come out. Needing to focus on shadow work, uncovering and integrating repressed or denied aspects of self. So this is the Divine Feminine's job in the lead up to Lionsgate. It's interesting. The picture here of a woman has got plasters all over her face. So it's as though the Divine Feminine has been putting sticking plasters over something to try to heal it without fully really looking at what the wound is. And maybe it's also because you haven't maybe been aware of it as well, let's be honest. Okay, I'm still not entirely sure what this is. I'm going to have a third card. We have 3 cards for the masculine. Let's have a third card for the feminine. Clarification, please, on the shadow work that is needing to be done, linked into something that's happened in past life. The cards are going everywhere. I really can't read the whole pack. So let's just have one. What? Okay, thank you. Spiritual ego. Needing to dissolve spiritual ego. Developing a sense of superiority or self-importance based on spiritual knowledge or practices. This also has created a division between the masculine and the feminine, that somehow the feminine knows more. Has the feminine gone into ego and intentionally or unintentionally created a gap whereby the masculine feels as though it's a gap that can't be closed? I'm being shown the analogy of a race, runners on a race, and it's as though the feminine is so far ahead on the race, and in terms of maybe what she knows or how she's developed spiritually, including stuff she's brought through from past lifetimes, and the masculine is lagging behind, stuck on the wooden bench in the middle of the maze, and it's as though he's been lapped. He's been lapped a couple of times, and it's as though I can't possibly catch up with her. But is that also coming from ego on the feminine's part? I mean, I think it's a little bit unfair, that, I have to say. But maybe it's true for some feminines. I'll tell you what might help at this point. Let's pull a couple of cards. I'm not going to talk about this feminine wound, but I just want to try and understand it a bit more. I think it might help if we pulled a couple of cards in terms of the state of the union at the moment between masculine and feminine with regard to the wound. Remember, this is a sacred woundings deck. So let's have a look at this and see what we get, because then it might make more sense of what's happening here with the feminine. So we've got one card that's fallen out, and it's guilt and shame. Okay, so we've got guilt and shame there's a torchlight being shone on this with regards to the actual state of the connection right now between both parties. So from my perspective, I'm just picking up guilt and shame linked into, well, 2 things. From the masculine perspective, maybe having let her go, having let her down, having not been able to stand up, having not been there basically for some reason. But remember, this is also, they're being hard on themselves because they have also been influenced by what has been going on in the collective. And there absolutely have been powers that have been trying to thwart the masculine from fully standing up and owning their power and getting back into the race. From the feminine's perspective, guilt and shame, it says lingering feelings of guilt or shame that hinder personal growth and self-acceptance. It's almost as though there's an energy of like dirty little secret that, you know, this love can't be talked about, this love can't be acknowledged, this love can't be heard, this love can't be seen. There's a bit of that. I'm going to pull another card. I understand the masculine's guilt and shame. I'm wanting to understand the feminine's guilt and shame. Is it the fact that she's allowed such a gap to come between them? But that sort of counters what I really believe to be true, though, which is that you need to get on with your own life. You can't sit waiting for somebody who's sat on a bench, unwilling to move. You have to live your life. You have to live your life. The twin flame path is not about just waiting, but, love, I don't know. Why guilt and shame on the behalf of the feminine? It might be a guilt and shame linked into a feeling that I shouldn't love this person. Maybe, maybe you're in another relationship, in a marriage. There's guilt and shame in terms of why I still feel this way about a twin flame that I'm not with. But love is love. You can't deny love. If you love somebody, you love somebody. That might be part of it. Let's just have one more. Why is the feminine feeling guilt and shame? Perfection mindset. The compulsive need to achieve flawless outcomes, often driven by a fear of criticism or failure. I'm getting an energy here of how... Remember, this is a shadow energy, okay? How well can I do without you? It's almost an energy of, I'll show you. I'll show you how well I can do without you. I'll show you how I don't need you. Whereas actually, I do actually need you and I do love you. And all of this stuff that I might have been running towards to prove something to myself actually is feeling a bit empty and not worthless, but it's just, I know really what the real prize is, which is you. And that's not to say that other things don't matter in life, other prizes aren't worth going for, that we should be achieving as much as we can achieve individually, but also together, because there's something here to do with what is achievable together is greater than what can be achieved alone. But it feels as though the feminine, the shadow side of the feminine, I think she's used to being abandoned. Remember, this is a past life wound. Used to being abandoned, past life. And so I'm just used to, it's an energy of I'm just used to getting on with it. And I'm used to being without you. And I'm used to making the most of it. And there's an energy here of I'll show you. And implying that somehow it's a perfect life that I have going on. But I'm actually sort of ashamed of that because I know it's not really the truth. Because the truth is you are what would make me complete. Is that making sense? That's sort of what it feels like here. I also at this juncture would like to add in another collective energy, something I've written down in my notes, which is the highest potential timeline for twin flame is helped and aided and buoyed by love in the collective consciousness, by a world that is becoming more loving or becoming more 5D or becoming more unified. And right now, unfortunately, as I'm recording this, 1st of August 2024, there's a lot of darkness. We know there's a lot of darkness. Just in my country alone, yesterday, woke up, we've had a terrible, terrible tragedy with children being knifed to death. We have riots in the streets on a few of our cities in reaction to that. There is probably the most well-known news presenter over decades who many people admired, respected, or he was just part of the furniture, really, part of, he's just been exposed with regards to child abuse, people feeling very let down, demoralised, threats of war, economy in a very difficult place. That's just my country. It's happening all over the world. What I'm trying to say is that all of this makes you feel, it doesn't lift. And the twin flame octave rides on a wave of love. Yes, we're here to help create that, but it's a bit like the lotus flower. It's like we're wading through the mud at the moment. And I don't think that's helping any of this either. Okay, let's see where to go now. The third spray that I wanted to bring into this reading today is this one. And it's the energy of hope, actually. Hope. What gets you up in the morning is hopefully hope that it's going to be a good day. What keeps you on the twin flame path, although you can't get off it if you are a twin flame, you know that. If you watch me, you know that. You might try and get off it, but you'll come back to it. Hope keeps you going. But equally, we need hope in the world right now. So let's bring in the energy of hope. And I'm going to spray this and we'll just see where we go next. So hope. Hope is eternal, is what I'm hearing. Hope is eternal. The energy of hope within the heart. There's something here about energy of hope, because hope shouldn't be desperate. Hope isn't like, oh God, please type energy, clinging on and like desperation. No, that's not what hope is. Hope needs to be a free energy. Hope, it needs to be able to breathe. It needs to be out there on a whim and a prayer, maybe, on the breeze itself. There's an energy of trust with hope, okay? There's an energy of faith with hope. Can you feel the difference? So this energy of hope needs to be encouraged within our heart space and within the divine masculine and the divine feminine. Both have got different issues and problems at the moment. And we need to bring that energy of hope into the union, into the masculine, into the feminine, into ourselves. Because, of course, yes, we are the feminine and the masculine, reunited within ourselves. Let's pull a couple of cards from a different deck now. I will show you one card that I pulled last night because I knew I was going to do this reading. And it's from a deck called Life Soul Vision Oracle. And I'll talk about it. But I also want to talk about the picture. It's actually a card which says Karmic cause and effect, right? But it's more the energy of the waves. You see the beautiful waves. Now, I've just come back from Crete. And one of the last days in Crete, I was sitting on the beach and I assumed they were newlyweds. But there was something about them where it was weird. Maybe it was just a photo shoot with models or something, because they didn't actually feel very connected, this couple. And also, when I say there was something very ordinary about them, I'm not meaning that in a horrible way. It's actually perfect for the message I'm trying to convey, because the whole twin flame energy, or the energy of love, doesn't have to be an extraordinary thing that, is once in a lifetime. If you're lucky, it can be something that you can have at an everyday level, an ordinary level. Making the ordinary into extraordinary, yes. But I'll tell you what I saw on the beach. So it was a photo shoot. And sometimes you have your photograph taken together in front of the sea. Well, they were actually in the sea. They were in the waves. She was in this long flowing white dress. He was in trousers, he was up to his thighs in water, as was she. And the sea in Crete was actually quite choppy. There were big waves rolling in. And I was looking at them thinking, oh my God, they're about to fall over. They are literally about to be swept to sea. And I was actually a bit concerned about them. There was also a part of my shadow, I have to be honest, which was thinking, God, they look ridiculous. I'm just being honest there. Don't shoot me for that. It was a bit over the top. It was a bit like some sort of Hollywood production, But here we were on a public beach, and they were up to their thighs in this water with those waves crashing against them. But actually, as I'm sitting here remembering it now, it feels very much like against all odds. They did manage to still stay upright in the waves. And maybe that whole thing about, what if they had been swept off their feet? What if they had been swept off their feet? That's what love does, is it not? But anyway, this card is the card of karmic cause and effect. I will pull some other cards around it because it's one I just happened to pull last night. But yeah, it's about destiny, universal laws, decisions, cause and effect. I'm just going to read the first paragraph. It says, waves break wildly against the unforgiving rocky shoreline, spraying foam and stirring up the scene into a powerful climatic crescendo. Sunlight streams into the active energy conversation, illuminating two chess pieces that pause defiantly at the water's edge. Strategically, they consider their next move. The knight faces fearlessly into the ocean swell, whilst the king stands his ground, holding court and observing every move mindfully in an act of strength and courage. Calmer waters on the horizon beckon, holding the promise of a release from the challenging game that is underway. In any given moment, hundreds of possibilities are playing out. The unpredictability of nature's next move will cause a chain reaction in this intricate rebalancing of karmic contracts. This is the game of life. You see, I read that and I think, gosh, how interesting was my reaction, which was actually one of fear in terms of, oh my God, you're not going to get swept off your feet, are you? You're not going to be taken away on the tide. Think about that in relation to twin flame. Is there an aspect here in both that are frightened of the wave coming in that is going to release them maybe from karmic shackles? Release them back to each other, and then what? And then what? So, yeah, it's a powerful card, that. Let's pull 3 other cards from the deck, and let's just see what messages want to come through in this video linked into twin flame. I'm not going to necessarily say whether it's masculine or feminine. Let's just see what wants to come through. So, thanking Spirit for being here with us. Thanking Kali Ma for helping to clear the way, Sanat Kumara for bringing us back to love, and Hope for rekindling that very essence. Okay, 3 more cards. Yeah, I'm not surprised to see that card. That came up last night as well. Detours from the divine. We're back to the maze. Yeah, you were meant to go into it to discover things about yourself, to maybe move away from each other. But there's been a massive detour. There's been a massive dead end. Some people haven't even found the centre of the maze. They're still wandering aimlessly. Believe it or not, at Hampton Court Palace, they have people that will come in and get you out of the maze because people can't find their way out. Some people can't even find their way in. What is that Cliff song? The only way out is the only way in, and it's you. Who comes to rescue you? You come to rescue you, okay? There's no knight in shining armour. Your divine masculine or divine feminine doesn't come in to solve it all for you and, heal all these nasty wounds that we've got. No, the masculine has to heal their wound, the feminine has to heal their wound. But what I'm really picking up here is that they can and they will do this work. And I definitely feel as though this 8-8 portal is going to be pivotal for putting twin flames back on track. There's been a detour away from the divine. It's come in via psychic attack, not listening to spiritual guidance, and past life woundings coming up as well. And it's as though back to the racetrack. I know I talk about the racetrack a lot, but it's such a good analogy. It's as though the feminine is like lapping him at the moment. It's as though they're going to be coming back to a more equal place where they actually can even see each other, okay, and feel each other and sense each other again. That actually, we are in this game together. We are in this race together. We're not meant to do it solo, necessarily. Yeah? Let's see what else we get. So detours from the divine. But I love the fact also that there is not a walking frame there, but there is a sword. There's a sword. Okay, come on, time to pick up the sword. On the bottom of the deck, I'll take that because that's really, oh wow, come on, 2 on the bottom of the deck. Wow. Okay. Oh, and that one as well. Right. Sorry. It's just, I love it when the cards just speak. Right. So detours from the divine. Then we have ancestral protection, spirit bear. So particularly for the divine feminine who's got this past life wound, okay, which is showing at the moment, the ancestors are coming forward to help her. And it may very well be that the ancestors really understand whatever your wound is right now, because they were there when it was maybe created. Or it might not even be your wound. It might be their wound, okay? Remember, sometimes the wounds that we carry in this life from past life are family line, they're ancestral, they're heritage. You put your hand up before you come and say, okay, I'm going to try and clear that mess that great-grandma made, you know? Because right now she can't or she won't. But I can see that if nobody in the soul family steps forward to try and clear it, that in the future, it's just going to keep repeating, okay? So I'm going to do that because I love my great-great-grandma, that type of thing. So yeah, you've got these bears, spirit bear, ancestral protection. You've got 2 of them, actually. So there's definitely also protection for the divine masculine as well, because you're both mirroring each other. What is the next card? The next card is the card of sacred soul union. Sacred soul union. Should I just leave it there? I mean, what can we say about that? Interestingly, it's no, it's not card number 4, it's card number 51. Okay, my eyes, I haven't got my glasses on. Sacred soul union. We've also got alchemize the ache. Alchemize the ache, which is that these wounds that I've been talking about in this video, it's time to alchemize them. It's time to, look at that. This is sunflowers. What have I got sitting here? Sunflowers. In fact, the whole sunflower energy is interesting. It was my birthday, you know, a few weeks ago. And because I was away on holiday for it, my brother said to me, he said, what would you like for your birthday? And I said, I'll tell you what I'd love, Paul. I said, when I get back from the holiday, just send me a small bunch of flowers. I said, it will help lift my post-holiday blues, and that'd be lovely. So the day I get back, which is when I thought he was going to send them, it got to 9 o'clock in the evening and there would be no flowers. And I thought, oh, well, okay. I was a bit disappointed. And then a van drew up and a guy got out and delivered my flowers, 9 o'clock in the evening. It had been 31 degrees all day, okay? These flowers arrived in not these flowers, there are other flowers. These flowers arrived in a crushed box. They had had no water for the whole day. They were half dead. They were sunflowers, basically. They were half dead. And you know, normally when you get flowers delivered in the post, they wrap them in a bit of cotton wool, which has been soaked in water, or they're in cellophane in water. These flowers had had no water. They were just dry stalks, half dead in this crushed box. And so I said to Paul, I said, this is the state they've arrived in. I just thought you ought to know because I know you've spent good money on them, but thank you anyway. I really appreciate them. What I did was I put them in water overnight. Alchemize the ache. The sunflower is us. And they bounced back to life. They bounced back to life. Alchemize the ache. What looks half dead and half starved and unattended and left on the bench or left in the box without any water can be brought back to life. What can be brought back to life? This connection. Is everybody going to come back into sacred union? Not right now, no. I'm not going to create false hope, because that's the other thing with hope. We don't want false hope. We just want hope. As I say, some people have already lost their twin flame. They're in spirit, but you can come back into union with each other in a different way. And some people also have still got work to do and aren't yet ready to come back into physical union if you're both still alive. But I feel as though some people are on the brink of coming back into union or coming back together. But this detour is interesting. Detour from each other. Yeah, the only way out is the only way in, and it's you. You might be able to see these cards which are in the background. These were my memories, really, to try and remember to do a twin flame video, and they've been sitting on my desk for about the last 2 months. They're from the Water Temple Oracle, so I will just pull a card from this deck as well. We have Ran and Aegir, co-creation. I unite with the power of love. Now, having come back from Greece, of course, all of the goddesses and gods, the energy there is just so real and visceral. Now, I don't know what these two are, so let's just look up their heritage, whether they are Greek gods or not, I don't know. Let's just have a look at who they are. Who's been sitting on my desk, waiting for me to talk about them for 2 months? This is the card. It says, I unite with the power of love. It says, adore, share, and collaborate. So it says, Ran and Aegir's sacred union is one of synchronistic co-creation, forehead to forehead, with their third eyes touching. They have an intense telepathic connection and joint life vision. They share dreams, plans, and triumphs. They certify that an incoming or current relationship is a match blessed by the gods. This dynamic partnership is fated for greatness. Your energies and gifts complement each other. Together, you can create a life, a home, and a soulful assignment that are forever expanding in contentment and kindness. As you work together, you will attract opportunities and build a shared vision on love and respect. You face challenges as one, meet your differences with mutual care, make time to enjoy small pleasures, and support each other's achievements. There is no place like a home shared with love. They're from Norse mythology. So it says, Aegir and Ran live in a majestic hall beneath the sea. Together they personify the mythical powers of the ocean. Aegir represents the ocean's more diplomatic and generous aspects, while Ran's qualities reflect a more tactical and quick-witted character. They delight in a close friendship with the Norse gods, who are regular visitors to their ocean hall. United in a strong bond, the couple are proud parents of their 9 enchanting daughters, who represent the ocean's waves. I'm thinking about that couple in the waves that I saw now. Hold on, guys, I've got another message to say in a minute. Summon this dynamic couple when you are ready for an intensely intimate connection and reciprocal partnership. This may be a twin flame, soulmate, or the deepening of an existing relationship. I feel as though this 8-8, what I would like you to try to do is sit in meditation, ideally beside water. If you live by the sea, great. If you live by a river or a lake, great. If it's raining, great. If you've got none of that, I don't know, just what can you do? Maybe get a little water feature in your room, or I don't know, you just got to connect to water somehow. Try to connect to these two, so Ran and Aegir, and ask in meditation to be taken to their underground temple. Their underground temple. What does it say? Yeah. On the ocean hall. Majestic hall beneath the sea. I'll tell you what, I'll spoil you guys. I'll do a quick little meditation and then we'll end it here. I'm going to use the water element. Hold on. Where is it? Here we go. I'm also going to use this beautiful shell that somebody sent me literally a couple of weeks ago. Right, we're going to use the water element. Archangel Metatron, water element, the energy of flow. I'm also feeling it's interesting because I've been talking a lot about Lion's Gate, which is all about fire and the sun. But there's a lot of, there's just so much activity, you know, all the time, you know, above the ocean. There's something at the moment about, with regards to love, about needing to go down to the depths of water and the flow of that. that couple in the sea, I can't believe it, you know. And the more I think about it, my reaction to them, what was that about, Amanda? Why couldn't you just embrace the fact that they were in love? And if they got swept off their feet, brilliant, you know? Because it's control. It's like, oh, you can't do that. Oh, you know, your clothes are getting wet. Oh, bloody hell, for God's sake. For God's sake, woman, you know? But I'm an aspect of you, okay? I'm an aspect of you. I was holding that energy for you. But let's let that go now. Let's let that go and let's open ourselves up to the wonders and the possibilities and the opportunities of being swept off our feet. Okay, right. But equally, I want you to just now think about your twin flame or your connection, your divine counterpart. Or if you haven't got one and you're still watching this video, just the energy of love and wanting to welcome that in. So I'm going to call in Ran and Aegir. If I'm saying their names wrong, apologies, but I know Spirit loves me no matter what. And language is something that divides us, but ultimately the heart knows. Okay, they know that I'm coming from the right place. Right, water element. Okay, so let's just go into the water. And I'd just like you to find yourself beside water. And we're going to go back to that Greek beach. Okay, so I'm going to take you back to the Greek beach. And I want you to feel your feet on the sand. And the sand has got very many small, tiny little shells and polished stones, polished pebbles, really. All of the pebbles on the beach are polished and not sharp. They have been rounded by the waters. There's also very small little shells. The water is crystal clear. The water is warm. The water is inviting. But the water also has great power. There's a lot of waves coming in. There are parts of the seashore line which are safe to swim in and go into, and there are other parts that are not safe. There is a lifeguard on the beach who is watching over you. He blows his whistle if you go into the sea at the wrong place, where you would be in danger. He guides you instead to a place on the beach where the water is calmer. The waves are still coming in, but they're lapping in a more gentle manner. And you enter the water at that place. You can feel the warmth of the water. You're marvelling of the colour of it, the clearness of it, the cleanness of it. And you go in until you're up to your waist. And as you start to move further into the water, you just feel as though you want to swim. You put your whole body into the water, shoulders as well, and you swim. And you swim, and you swim, and you swim. And you're completely safe. You're completely held. You are completely protected. There is the energy of mermaids, dolphins, fish, the Greek gods, the Greek goddesses all around you. And you notice as you're swimming that the sun is starting to set. The sky is going a beautiful burnt orange and red. The sun itself is just this ball of fire that is starting to set over the horizon. And as you swim towards the horizon, you go down, down, down into the greater depths of the sea. And you're guided by the mermaids, the dolphins, the fish. You can breathe under the water. You are completely safe. You enter a portion of the sea which is not open to all. It's guarded. You only find it if you are invited. And as you go down deeper, you realise that you are coming more into the territory and the boundaries of this great hall, this great palace of Ran and Aegir. The doors open, you swim through, And more than anything, just being there in the waters, in the hall, in the palace, feeling the presence of these two, the energy of love, the energy of co-creation, you receive what you need to receive. You receive what you need to receive. You receive what you need to receive. You look down on the ocean floor. There are pearls, there is coral, there is fish, there is gold, and there is love all around. You can, if you may, invite into this space your twin flame, your divine counterpart, to come and join you. And wherever they are, around the world, whatever distance, wherever they are, whatever their situation, however it has been left, whatever has been said, feel as their energy arrives beside you now, in the waters of this palace. You called and they came, and you swim together, and you join hands as you swim, and you look down on the ocean floor, and you see the beauty. You see the beauty, but you also look up and see each other's eyes. There is an intense moment of connection and knowingness and love. And there's also the energy of the seahorse that comes in too. Seahorses, pearls, coral, gold, Ran and Aegir. This is a place beneath the ocean, on the ocean floor, in this great palace dedicated to love, dedicated to healing, dedicated to you. You are always welcome here. You can always come. Receive the healing that you need now. Receive the understanding that you need now. Receive the wisdom that you need now. All is well. And when your time is finished there, you swim back together to shore. See yourself swimming back to shore. Feel your feet upon the sand. Feel the warmth of the sun drying your bodies. You can embrace upon the shoreline. And you either go your separate ways for the time being, knowing that you are one and can reconnect at any time, or you keep walking together. Yeah. Okay. So just coming back now, please. Take a nice deep breath. Take some water. And we thank the energies that have helped us with healing, understanding, and blessings today. I'm going to end, I think, with the energy of Sanat Kumara as a blessing. Sanat Kumara. A blessing on love, a blessing on life, a blessing on each other, a blessing on your heart, surrounded in light, surrounded in love, fully cleansed, fully present, fully here, fully open. Thank you. Okay, guys, I'm going to leave it there. I will put the details below of the decks that I have used in this video, which have been the Sacred Woundings deck, the Life Soul Vision Oracle deck, and the Water Temple Oracle. And the sprays that have been used are Sanat Kumara, Hope, and Kali Ma. And I think I ought to just end, though, by not forgetting to show the little twin flame crystal that I use in all of the videos. Still separate, but still destined to come back into union with each other. Just tune into this crystal for one moment and see if it has a message today. 2 hearts beating as one. There's something to do. What I'm being shown here is, you know, when you have like a cuddle with somebody or a hug, this doesn't have to be a love partner, it can be a child, it can be anybody, but there's something to do with the rhythm of your breathing. You become one, and heart rates also can become one. So I'm sort of back to where I started with this video, which is that heart that felt as though it was being shocked back into life. And I feel as though this happens over the Lionsgate month ahead, because it's more than just the 8th of August. Interesting, I said October. Maybe it goes on for a couple of months. But then just this rebalancing that seems to happen, okay? Rebalancing and coming back into sync with each other. It's as though the counterparts have been out of sync with each other and they're coming back into sync. Okay, so that's really lovely. I will leave it there. Thank you very much for listening. Take care. Bye-bye for now. Bye.